Alright, they've earned one. Well, it only took them 4 tries, but DC finally has a live-action movie worth talking about. By now, you've probably heard that Wonder Woman has been getting a lot of good reviews, and frankly, I think that it's earned it, especially considering the DCCU's past entries. I mean, all it took is they had to realize not to include idiot villains, confusing plot points that the internet is still making fun of, and not hand off their footage to a company that only edits trailers. God damn it, Suicide Squad could have been so cool. But no, Wonder Woman was a good time to be had. I went there with my roommate and we both thought that it had a lot of good things about it. Now that's not to say it's perfect, of course, and I will be talking about some more critical points later on, but for now let's just get the positives out of the way. First off, as is vital for any superhero action movie, the action scenes are great. And it's not just the whole Wonder Woman being a cool superhero thing. There are a lot of thought was put into the choreography of all these different fight scenes. Now, as you've seen from the trailers, it's not just her going into battle. She actually has a small squad of a couple of guys joining in with her. And for the most part, the movie actually does a pretty good job incorporating them into the fight alongside of her. And frankly, I think that the budding superpowers origin story really does work with that. And actually, that really plays into her character very well, because starting off, she's very naive about the world. Understandable, because she's never stepped off the island of Themyscira before. When Steve Trevor, played by Chris Pine, brings Diana to London for the first time, she's understandably ADD about the situation. Her naivete of the world outside of her own island was very believable and very humanizing, I thought, because she goes around pointing out things as they're walking down the street. Oh, what's that? Oh, what's she wearing? Oh my god, it's a baby! And that slight dose of character made her very enjoyable. Compare that to how she acted later on in the battlefield. She ends up charging into no man's land by herself. Again, not a spoiler, you can see that in the trailers. And while what she does there was, yes, tactically stupid, it actually does really fit in with her character and, well, makes for a really enjoyable scene. Actually, what surprised me about the writing of the story was that for a long while, we don't see Wonder Woman exhibit any superpowers. And this is probably me speaking as a non-comic book fan, but when we finally do see her jump into action on the battlefield, you realize, oh yeah, she can do all that. This is going to be awesome! At least that's how I took it. However, while I'm not savvy with comic books and I can't really speak to the accuracy of the adaptation, I do know one element of her origin story that they changed, and that being the contest that she was supposed to win to earn the right to leave the island. And unfortunately, some of this does touch on the presumptuousness, I guess, of the screenwriters. Rather than partake in a contest that would earn her the right to escort Steve Trevor off the island after he crashes there, she pretty much just grabs him, grabs some supplies, gets on a boat, and goes. And this wouldn't be too bad, except her outfit wasn't explained, and from what I recall, there's supposed to be a lot of power and symbolism in that. Don't ask me what it is, I don't know, but at one point we see her take off this big heavy coat and she's got the classic Wonder Woman outfit underneath, which looks awesome by the way, and no real explanation for why she's wearing it. I mean, why this particular outfit? It looks so different from everything else the other Amazons were wearing. It just looks a little out of place comparatively. But that's really a nitpick. If you can overlook that, you're still gonna have a good time. Something else of note is that the acting was really good. I think that Gal Gadot was a great choice to play Wonder Woman. She not only looks the part, but she pretty much nails all of her lines and the new experiences that she's supposed to be feeling coming into the world of men. Everyone else did a pretty good job as well, going into the seriousness of combat that was World War I, while kind of playing around with the idea of Diana's hunt for Ares, the god of war. I thought that on one hand that kept the story grounded, while on the other hand you still had a chance to play with the magical, the mystical, all the elements of Diana's powers. And of course you can't have just Wonder Woman and Steve Trevor running into combat by themselves. They have a couple of side characters who come along with them, and I thought they were fun. They weren't the most developed, of course, just being side characters, but they were still fun enough that you wanted to see them come through all right in the end. However, part of the issue in writing their characters was that it felt like they had started some plot points and some character motives, and then the movie just kind of dropped them. We have one character, for example, who's clearly suffering from PTSD and is afraid to engage in combat, and we never really wrap that up. I mean, the movie tries to touch on it when he's like happily singing in a bar at one point, but it doesn't answer the question that was raised. A worse example would be one character who was supposed to just be a scout, who was supposed to lead Steve, Trevor, and group through the country, I guess, and clearly stated that he doesn't have any sides in this war. He's not going to fight. And then the very next scene, he's chucking hand grenades at the Germans. It's like, okay, where did this come from? I mean, it's cool, but you just said... Never mind. So it's these little things that are still gonna pull at you every once in a while, reminding you, oh yes, this is still the DCCU. They're still screwing things up. I mean, I don't consider myself a Marvel fanboy, but DC cannot catch up at this point. It is not possible. Especially when this character has already been established and they're just now getting to her origin story. That just feels so sloppy in terms of story writing. Especially because everyone's gonna compare the DCCU to the MCU and how much better they did it. But I am something of a cynic, and hopefully I will be proven wrong again when the Justice League movie comes out. But I'm not giving my hopes up. But anyway, if you want to go see a good action movie, this one will definitely keep you entertained. It is easily the best movie out of the DCCU. Though that doesn't say much.